Keeping It Real. I'm Krysta Gibson, the publisher of NewSpiritJournal.com. In April 2020, we decided to start something a little different in that we don't usually have themes from month to month for our publication. Well, we decided starting in April 2020 that we would have a theme that the 4 columnists would address. And so for this month, we chose fear, because this is the time when the coronavirus is out hot and heavy and it's a world pandemic and there's a lot of people who are really fearful. Now, so far in the month of April, Paul Hudon and Debbie Ritter and Shamanweaver Shiela Baker each wrote about fear from their perspective. So I encourage you to go read those articles. They're really good. Well, I'm the 4th columnist, and I decided to do a little video just to kind of shake things up a little bit. So I'm going to take just a few minutes and talk about fear and some of my ideas about how to handle or how to deal with fear if you're experiencing it. Well, the first thing I want to address is a book written by a woman named Susan Jeffers. It's called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. That's one of those books that I feel like she didn't have to write the book because the title says it all. It's kind of like Terry Cole Whitaker's book, What You Think of Me Is None of My Business. That's another one of those that she didn't need to write the book. Just give us the title. It really does work. So what is fear? Fear in the old days, I'm talking about the real old days, fear was all about, you're there with the family and you're sitting in the cave and you're enjoying your bison or whatever you're eating. And a lion or a tiger decides they want your dinner and you too. And they show up in the cave and guess what? You're afraid. You should be afraid. The tiger's going to eat you. So fear, the purpose of fear was so you wouldn't just sit there going, oh, kitty, kitty. You would realize, hey, I better deal with this or my family's going to die. Or you're sitting out by the campfire and a bunch of wolves are all around you and they haven't evolved to the point of becoming poodles yet. So you're like, oh my God, this is a pack of wolves. We better be afraid and we better do something. Okay, that was real fear and valid fear. Now in today's world, yes, there are times to feel fear. We are in fact very much being thrust upon something or something's thrust upon us that's life-threatening. And certainly the coronavirus can fit in that category. For some people, it is and has been life-threatening. And so it's understandable that people are feeling some fear. That's survival. I'm not ready to die yet. I still have a few more things to do. So first of all, don't deny your fear. If you feel fearful, I know a lot of people are like, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid. Well, that's not necessarily going to be helpful. It's much better to say, hey, you know what? Yeah, I do feel a little afraid. I don't like this feeling. I feel a little bit afraid. The second thing to ask yourself, though, is this OPE? What is OPE? OPE is other people's energy. Many times when you feel fear or other emotions, it isn't you. It is in fact somebody else's that you're picking up on, but you think it's yours because you're feeling it. So I always ask myself, is this OPE or is it mine? And Paramahansa Yogananda taught, thoughts are not individually rooted, they're universally rooted. In other words, they're floating around the ethers and they're coming in and out of your space, and it's up to us to be able to recognize and say, yeah, that's mine. No, that's not mine. That belongs to somebody else. So if it's not yours, send it on its way. If it is yours, let's talk about that. Let's just say, okay, first of all, do the things that you're being told to do. And are they valid or not? I don't know. That's up to better minds than mine. But, if you're told to, wear a face mask or stay home a lot or whatever the things are you're being told to do them, and that's the first step. And that can take away some of your fear. You can say, well, I'm not around people. I'm not around the people who are going to sneeze on me and share the gift of the coronavirus. So do the things you're told to do. The next thing is, live more on the spiritual plane rather than on just the physical plane. What do I mean by that? The spiritual plane is that place where whether you pray, meditate, whatever it is that gets you into that other state of consciousness, get in it and stay in it. It's from the Bible, be in the world but not of the world. Yes, you have to deal with what's going on, but you don't have to jump into the fray. You don't have to jump in there and wallow around in the mud of all the feelings and arguments and everything going on. You can pull back and say, okay, that's going on. I see it. I recognize it. I hear it, but I don't have to be it. And I don't have to jump into the middle of it. The last thing I'll say to you, and I'll cover these quickly, is use the elements. What do I mean by that? Okay, the elements are the elements of nature. So we'll go through them quickly. First of all, air. Breathe. Do some good breathing. Don't just do that shallow from the chest, hyperventilating kind of breathing, but go from the diaphragm and really give yourself good breaths. And if you catch yourself in fear, get in touch with your breathing and it'll get you back to being you and getting in your own space. The second is water. Make sure you stay hydrated and bless the water that you drink. Bless the water you take a shower in. All the ways in which you encounter water in your life, bless it, use it, and when you're drinking water, let it go through your body and just say, this is washing out any of the fear, any of the negativity, any of those things that aren't really me, that I don't need. The water is washing them away. And do that in the shower too. That feels fabulous. Fire. I like to look at fire. Yeah, there's candles and fireplaces, but I like to look at fire as the sun, the warmth of the sun. The sun visits us every day and warms the planet even in the wintertime. So really enjoy the sun and feel the warmth of the sun. And that will, again, it's another way to bring you back to yourself. And earth, get a rock. Now, it can be a beautiful crystal. As you can see, I'm into crystals. They're behind me, and I have courses in crystals. But it can be a regular rock, just one you go pick up somewhere. Why is that? Rocks will ground you. A rock has survived a very long time. They've been on the planet a long time. They've seen way more than we have, and they're still here. They didn't just get birthed yesterday. Rocks didn't just show up. They've been around for a while. So when you have a rock, hold the rock. Ask it, well, how have you survived? And what can you tell me about survival? And what can you tell me about being grounded? And then have the rock with you, and you'd be amazed how much that can help you right now. And then there's the fifth element, which is the element of love. If you can stay in that place of love, that place of loving yourself, liking yourself, loving unconditionally the other people in the world and the planet, even the people you don't agree with, you can still love them. My mother always used to tell me, you don't have to like people, you just have to love them. So we don't have to agree with people or like them, but we can still send them unconditional love. So there you have it. There's my suggestions for some ways to deal with fear. Keep yourself in the present moment. Don't get involved with other people's energy. And you know what? You will not only survive, you will thrive, and you're going to have some fabulous stories that you can tell people later on that you survived 2020, you survived the pandemic, and you'll have information to share. Thanks for visiting. Be sure to go to newspiritjournal.com. There is so much good information there. You can get lost there for hours.